Welcome back to the Redundancy Crusader Talks 2. My guest today is Annabel Kaye, my friend and employment law specialist, and today we're going to be talking about ontology. And yes, it's an ology, but it's very simple, it's the way of being. And really it just focuses on the fact that as human beings we live in our bodies, in our language and in our emotions. And I think that's a great starting point for redundancy. So today we're going to be focusing on redundancy and conversation. Annabel, I know you have strong views around this.
It's part of the redundancy process from a legal point of view to try and control the dialogue between people. Mm-hmm. And this can often result in no dialogue at all once you've eliminated all the things you can't say.
Yes.
It can be very hard to work out what you can say. So I'm very interested in the effect this has on the human beings who are being subject to this almost factory process of communication. Mm-hmm. It can be traumatic, way beyond I don't know what's happening. And I think a lot of the work you're doing is beginning to give me an understanding that's very different to the one I had as an HR practitioner when we first met.
Yes, to me the fact that often in the situation of the redundancy meeting we don't have a proper conversation is absolutely crucial in terms of making people feel more abandoned, less worthy, because effectively they don't have a voice.
So what would a proper conversation be? How would we know we were having a proper conversation as opposed to just a rote conversation?
Well, to me a proper conversation is something where there's speaking and listening on both sides, and that then generates something new, so it generates possibilities. And often the redundancy conversation, such as it is, doesn't generate possibilities because HR have decided pretty much what the outcome is. So if you're the employee, you get told either you accept this now or you accept something less attractive later on. So there's no scope for actually creating something.
So the fear of the silence, something might come out of the unstructured moment that wasn't expected.
Yeah.
Is actually quite damaging to the people who are being on the receiving end of the structure, isn't it? That's quite thought-provoking, isn't it?
I think it is, because a number of people that I interviewed, even if they'd accepted their redundancy, there was something really powerful for them about not having had a voice and therefore needing to have a voice afterwards, which I think often shows itself in resentment, private or public, towards their ex-employer, which obviously is an unintended consequence for the employer.
Well, as the employee engagement specialist would no doubt say, that's not very good for the brand, is it?
Indeed not, but then I have a very firm belief that the current model of redundancy isn't good for the brand in any sense whatsoever. Interesting stuff. Annabel Kaye, thank you very much.